They say land can't talk, but Greenland has been screaming for centuries, and the world just didn't listen. Here's what most people don't know. In 1946, the United States offered Denmark $100 million in gold for Greenland. Gold, a massive pile of it. Denmark said no. And here we are again. The US still wants it. Why? Because Greenland is like the last golden egg on Earth, hiding rare minerals, military power, and secrets locked under ice. But Greenland isn't some abandoned island. It's home. Home to people who survived the Arctic cold, raised children on frozen tundras, and built stories into the ice itself. And now, the eyes of the world are back, watching, wanting, waiting. How did Denmark even get Greenland? Denmark's hold over Greenland goes back to the early 1700s, when missionaries and merchants set foot there. But the real grip came in 1814. After the Napoleonic Wars, Denmark lost Norway, but kept Greenland in the Treaty of Kiel. That's when Greenland was no longer just a dot on the map. It became a Danish colony, and even after World War II, Denmark didn't let go. In 1953, it changed Greenland's status from a colony to a part of the Danish realm. But the people, they never truly surrendered their identity. Now, the US wants a piece of the icy pie. Again. Why? One word: power. Greenland holds massive amounts of rare earth minerals, crucial for tech, defense, and clean energy. We are talking about neodymium, dysprosium, and uranium, stuff needed for smartphones, satellites, electric cars, and even nuclear submarines. Greenland isn't just land. It's the front line in a quiet war over the future. In fact, the US already has a military foothold there. Since 1941, it has operated Thule Air Base in northwest Greenland, a place so remote it looks like another planet. Thule is key to America's early missile warning system. It watches the skies for threats from Russia, China, and beyond. Losing Greenland would feel like losing a shield. But the Greenlandic people aren't staying quiet. They have tasted self-rule since 2009, when Denmark handed over most powers except defense and foreign affairs. Since then, they have built their own government, their own schools, their own pride. And that pride, it's not for sale. No one talks about. Greenland may leave Denmark entirely, not to join the US, but to go solo, independent, free. Greenland's leaders have been pushing toward full independence, fueled by mining revenues and global warming. Yes, you heard that right. Melting glaciers are exposing more minerals and land. The very thing that's threatening their homes is also opening new doors. Greenland could soon stand on its own, and that would make any attempt at US acquisition even more impossible. But the story doesn't end there. You see, this isn't just about minerals or military bases, it's about culture, about heart. Greenland is the land of the Kalaallit Inuit. Their ancestors hunted whales and seals. They told stories in ice caves. They lived in silence, in snowstorms, in beauty that breaks you. And when outsiders tried to name their land, control their lives, or rewrite their stories, they resisted, quietly, fiercely. Some Greenlanders still remember when Danish policies forced children into boarding schools, when their native language was pushed aside, when fishing rights were taken. That pain still echoes through generations. So, when a superpower like the US comes knocking, no matter how golden the offer, it triggers old wounds. Could the US still find a way? Maybe. Instead of trying to buy Greenland, the US might pivot to influence, co-develop industries, fund infrastructure, offer joint research on climate change. Already the US opened a consulate in Nuuk in 2020 for the first time since the Cold War. Not a coincidence. It's soft power, America's way of getting closer without grabbing. Imagine this: Greenland's universities partnering with Ivy League schools. Renewable energy companies are teaming up. Youth exchanges, Arctic science projects. Slowly, bonds grow. Influence deepens. The US doesn't need to own Greenland. It just needs to be in Greenland. And Greenland could benefit too, on its terms. But here's the emotional punch. The elders of Greenland say that every time the land melts, a story dies. An ancient path vanishes. A legend is lost in the sea. So, when big powers talk about buying their home, they don't hear opportunity. They hear extinction. We can't ignore that. Here are 4 bonus facts. 1. Trump's Greenland bid wasn't a joke. In 2019, President Donald Trump publicly floated the idea of buying Greenland. He was serious. The Danish Prime Minister called it absurd, and Greenland's foreign minister tweeted, "We're open for business, not for sale." 2. Greenland's ice can raise sea levels by 20 feet. If all of Greenland's ice melted, global sea levels would rise by 7 meters, about 20 feet. That's enough to flood every coastal city in the world. 3. China also has eyes on Greenland. In recent years, China has tried to invest in airports and mining projects in Greenland, raising red flags in Washington. The Arctic isn't just cold, it's heating up with competition. 4. There's a Greenland Independence Party. Yes, a real one. It's been pushing for full independence from Denmark since the 1970s. They believe Greenland has what it takes: resources, pride, and people to stand alone. So, where does this all leave us? With questions. Big ones. Can Greenland walk the path to full independence while holding off giants like the US and China? Can it develop without losing what makes it special? And can the world finally listen, not to the minerals, but to the people? Because Greenland is more than a prize. It's a heartbeat in the ice. If this story moved you, if you now see Greenland not as a place, but as a people, then subscribe for more untold stories that matter. Drop a comment. Should Greenland fight for full independence? And how can the world help protect its future?